What? Intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. What's going on, all you main characters? Welcome back to another episode of the Third Party Podcast. We are on episode 63. I didn't think we'd get to 2.
You didn't think we'd get to 2?
I thought we'd give up after the Avatar Way of Water review that we did. That was our pilot.
It honestly feels like we've been doing this a lot longer.
It really does.
Than 62.
It feels like we've done at least 600. Joe Rogan levels of he's done a couple thousand, several thousand.
Yeah, I mean, you made me wake up early for this shit.
I'm sorry. But tell you what, main characters, we got a couple of great stories for you today. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free. It's the best way to show your support. Like the video and share it around and comment below and let us know in the live chat what your thoughts are on these topics. We are engaging with the live chat as always. So let's get right into what have you been up to this week, Steve?
Well, Space Marine 2 came out.
Yes. Oh, okay. So we didn't get to chat about this that much last week, except just kind of like more our predictions. Like, obviously the game had been out for early access players who had spent their life savings on 3 extra days of gameplay. But now that you finally had some time with it, and I think you had once upon a time told me, or throughout the week told me, that you were kind of like addicted to it, like you didn't want to put it down, or were you talking about a different game?
No, that was a different one.
Okay.
That was the My Hero one.
All right. Well, now that we have your live actual thoughts on it, tell me what your week was like with Space Marines 2 existing in the universe.
You remember the Xbox 360 era of gaming?
Pretty well. Yep.
And how fun and just
how every game was a great time.
Yeah.
You enjoyed spending it with your friends, and you got home and you were excited to spend an all night playing a video game.
It's kind of like that.
No shit.
Yeah, it really does remind you of those excellent gaming days.
They've been long gone. We haven't had there are plenty of games to enjoy. I mean, even we're probably going to get comments saying do you think this game is bad? It's and they're probably going to pull out one random game that actually was pretty fun. But no, I mean the general atmosphere of gaming right now is kind of bad.
This brings you right back towards the golden era of gaming.
Yeah,
where it's Space Marines 2 really it feels like Gears of War, but it doesn't play like it.
It's nostalgia for.
It's just go on your fucking mission with your bros, your beefy ass over the shoulder third person bros. Just kill shit.
I never got away from loving third person shooters. I love third person shooters so much. Modern Warfare 3 had a game mode that I don't think. Was it 2?
2 had the game mode.
2 had the game mode. Yeah, okay, you're right. You're right. Modern Warfare 2 had the game mode, and I was playing at Estate, and I remember it vividly. I was doing awesome because I was corner creeping with shit.
Oh yeah.
Angling with the third person camera. I mean,
why was that the only one? Did 3 also have it? I don't know. I only played it in 2.
As I'm reflecting, I only remembered being able to play it one time, but then after that, I was always thirsty for being able to play it more. So I'm guessing if it was in 2, that it wasn't in 3, because this was 10, 15 years ago. I was actively looking for it once upon a time. So, no, I'm pretty sure third-person shooter mechanics in that game only existed for even a limited time. I don't think Modern Warfare 2 even still has that mode.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing around the internet that, this game is it's made people realize how much we've lost in masculinity of gaming.
Yeah.
It's
there's no shortage.
It's the most badass, all right, you're a big bulky dude, gore all the way through. Mm-hmm. It's yeah. And all we've gotten so for the past decade is just kind of these main characters that want to be super deep or whatever. And these are just stoic fucking Marines.
Yeah,
people are oh my god, it's kind of a fucking breath of fresh air.
If I could add a little nuance to it, I think there's no shortage of cool characters in the gaming in the gaming market right now. I think you could find cool characters depending on which.
Name new ones?
No.
Or ones that have been around forever.
Well, what was that detective game that you were playing the other day where I came in and you showed me he could like mess with time and stuff, and he was
it's like Nobody Wants to Die or something.
right. So I can't name that character, but I have seen games where there are characters that are cool, but I don't play them because they're bad. They're not good games.
They CS:GO.
Right. So but back to my point was I think there is that masculine energy in gaming, that kind of like very aggressive, like get your angst out through living through these characters in this game. That doesn't exist anymore. You have only cartoons now just bouncing around being stupid.
Yeah, no, and even like legacy characters like Master Chief now are just whatever fucking characters.
Yeah. He hasn't had a cool line in a minute. Well, although Infinite was kind of the last straw for me.
He just takes showers.
Yeah. I watched all of season 1 of the show, and I tried to do season 2. I gave up on season 2. But yeah, for Halo specifically, I Infinite was the last straw for me. I watched the show more out of a sense of obligation to watch it.
Morbid curiosity.
No, I knew what it was going to be. The whole time I felt like compelled. Like I was like compelling myself to watch it and push myself through it. And every episode hurt to watch. Every episode was like troublesome.
Yeah, no, this Space Marines is like, it's very. So it's basically you go on a mission, kill hundreds of fucking Tyranids. You go back to the spaceship. It's basically like cutscene, setting up next story mission, go back out on the mission. Kind of. It's very.
Is it like a game loop? Like, is the game loop pretty small?
It's almost like it's playing like that so far. I haven't beat the campaign.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, you go on the mission. Missions will have like cutscenes, story moments in them too.
Yeah.
But it's very procedural. Go on the mission, come back to the ship. Go on the mission, come back to the ship, kind of thing.
Okay, and that is also very reminiscent of old gaming, where that's just what you do. I mean,
it's like, all right, loading into the next mission.
This game, on the gore aspect of it, I think to your original point, we actually got really comfortable having games that didn't really have a lot of like gore and intense battles and stuff in them. And my point on this is that there was content creators on YouTube who were trying to make like videos commenting about Space Marines 2, and they had to adjust the coloring in their video, like B-roll footage they were using, because the blood was so pronounced that YouTube would keep taking down their videos. So YouTube, we're so used to not seeing it that as soon as it comes to the forefront of the gaming world and content creators are trying to make content on it, now all of a sudden they have to go out of their way to make it comply with Google and YouTube's terms of service so that their videos don't get taken down. When really, this should be the standard and everything else should be an accommodation from that. Like,
yeah. I do have 2 complaints about it.
Yeah, fire.
Or 1, basically. Is that
1 is not 2.
So I was playing on just like normal difficulty or whatever. Wasn't going ham. And the AI, when it comes to 2 different enemies, like your AI buddies, they don't help out whatsoever. And it's infuriating. Like you got these like swarmer, like rat kind of enemies, and they'll just fucking come after you all day, no quitting, while you're supposed to like be like holding an objective or whatever.
They just chase you, run you down.
Yeah, yeah, it's annoying. And another one is one that pops up from the ground.
Okay.
And it's like your AI teammates just don't know how to deal with it, and it constantly targets you while you're getting swarmed by the rats too.
Right.
So.
Well, what do you think of that? Okay, so that's a comment on how the AI's performance is, but do you have any complaints about the game's condition that it was in as it was released? Like its final form?
Everything plays fine, looks fine. Like the fucking backdrops in this game are just breathtaking. You almost like walk slowly from each like almost like arena fight.
Sure.
Just to like take in the sights and whatnot. Because it's fucking insane.
Well, yeah, lots of different planets and shit. Maybe in Space Marines 2, they're on like one planet where they travel around.
2 so far. I think there's 3 in total.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I mean the Hive City is just insane. The architecture. Because you got like cathedrals in the background that are like 200 stories tall. Like, Damn,
It,
that looks good.
that's a lot of seating space. It must have really had a lot of tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues playing it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm hearing, is that the game itself came out in one of the best final states on like release. Like
Right.
version 1 is complete.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really complain about your AI buddies when Star Wars Outlaws came out.
It's hard.
It's like the AI just doesn't see you at all. It's
Yep.
like,
Yeah, and actually, if you're listening to this, go back to the original or the video we had done last week where we talked about Star Wars Outlaws and all of their bugs. During the Star Wars Outlaws segment, we show an example. It's freaking hilarious.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was funny. I wish we had pulled up more. That's my only regret. It's my only regret in life is that we didn't pull up more examples of Star Wars Outlaws during the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of any real complaints about this game. It came out polished. It's a full game.
Affordable? Or fairly priced, I guess, is a better fairly priced for what you get.
Is it worth the $70? I would say so. Is it worth 110 or whatever?
130?
That people got like some cosmetics and 3 days early access for. I don't know about that, but
have you played with Slim yet? He was
no, I haven't.
He wanted that so bad.
Yeah, I was sick for 2 days of the week, so I didn't really play. So I don't have a whole lot of time into it, but
Gotcha. Well, so my week. Thanks for asking.
Oh, sorry.
No, I watched I found there was an older movie from the 90s that I watched with Matthew McConaughey playing the main character, Samuel Jackson, A Time to Kill. I hadn't seen it before. So this was my first interaction with the movie. If you haven't seen it, bunch of rednecks like do some bad stuff to a little black girl. Samuel Jackson goes on, kills those rednecks, and then he goes to court.
I feel like I've already seen this movie.
He goes to court
several times.
Goes to court. He's like, I'm insane, and Matthew McConaughey has to defend his insanity plea. Kevin Spacey plays the prosecutor. The cast is awesome. Honestly, the 90s had. If you were in 2024 and you're looking back at older films from the 90s and you see all of the best actors of today when they were at, I would argue their peak. I would argue their prime. Like the 90s, early 2000s.
90s and early 2000s is kind of the peak for movies too. So
right, and I don't know that that's even just a generational thing. Like, you kids don't have good taste anymore. I don't think that's what it is. I think that
the music sucks, the movies suck. What are you guys doing?
When you're talking to a young person and they're like, "Oh, do you like this actor or that actor?" And then you realize they haven't seen anything from back when those actors were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s. You're just seeing them as like adults or as like old people now. There's so many great movies that a lot of young people haven't seen.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Amistad.
Yeah.
Amistad, because Matthew McConaughey, I think, is the lawyer for another black guy in that movie.
He had a thing. He had a thing going. Not like there was any shortage of.
He's a lawyer in a lot of movies.
Right. Well, Lincoln Lawyer.
Only representing blacks, I guess.
Well, Lincoln Lawyer, he's representing a rich white guy. He got his diversity. He checked his diversity. You never saw Lincoln Lawyer? Yes, you have. Matthew McConaughey and Lincoln Lawyer?
Nope.
No fucking way. I don't accept that. I don't believe that's true.
DNA interests me.
Oh my god. Okay, but yes, Matthew McConaughey makes a great lawyer. So that's
a southern accent.
That was pretty much the highlight of my week for like what I was doing. I obviously haven't been able to game at all because I've been in a cast. Fucker.
Yeah, your week's got to be boring as fuck.
I just sitting there watching old shows and movies and stuff. I'm just getting caught up on content. It sucks. I hate being on a couch.
Learn to do something.
I'm working on it. Not everything can be done through voice chat stuff. Some things you have to roll up your sleeves for and work. You wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. So we have a lot of great stories to get into. Wow, we're already 15 minutes in. Let's get into our first story. So the first story, we're talking about Ubisoft. Ubisoft, their stock price dropped 7%, and they had their investors meeting, their shareholders meeting, and during the shareholders meeting, there were calls for the company to go private. Now, I was actually looking for I was actually looking at the stock prices, and we were trying to come up with examples of other studios who were kind of an equivalent size. And all of the examples we could come up with, we came up with BioWare, BioShock, yeah, BioWare.
BioWare, Blizzard, Activision Blizzard.
Yep. Capcom. I mean, like we came up with Bungie. We came up with as many that we could kind of try to find that were similar size. It was kind of difficult because Ubisoft's kind of in this weird place.
They're big.
They're big, but they're also like poor.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, their stock price is like $10. Is like $11 now. So
at this point, I don't think anyone's stock price is that high.
Well, I mean, Disney and Activision are both at $90 a stock, $90 a stock, or around that price range. So Ubisoft going to the shareholders meeting and having another drop of 7% to their stock price immediately on the heels of, let's see, you have Star Wars Outlaws, all of the drama and all of the international problems they've been having around Assassin's Creed Shadows, where they have literally a country that is like trying to get them shut down. Their legislators, their public are casting polls and stuff. I loved the comment where when I looked at the poll, or not the poll, the petition to shut down the game, it had like 80,000 signatures on it. And so one of the comments was like, Japan has a population of something million people, and you only got 80 signatures, lol, or 80,000 signatures, lol. I was like, most people do not just scroll change.org.
Right.
Or, like,
the world population is like 8 billion, but only 2 million signed the petition for Game of Thrones Season 8.
Yes, exactly. That's like a stupid argument. Like the point of scale argument means that the point is invalid. Like, that's stupid.
Right.
Like, argue the point, dude. It's like, like Ubisoft made a shit fucking product in Star Wars Outlaws. We'll probably see a better product, functionally, mechanically, story wise, like everything about Assassin's Creed Shadows is probably going to be better than Star Wars Outlaw. But talk about a bar being low.
It's kind of like so these industries, they make decisions and then they work on that decision for, well, I guess in gaming it would be anywhere from like 8 to fucking 3 years to develop a game.
Yeah,
it depends. And so they made this decision long ago. Well, culture has kept moving.
Yeah,
people are just like not liking this, and it's like, well, we just wasted $200 million on this.
Well, because how long did so Assassin's Creed Shadows? People were wanting a Japanese Assassin's Creed Shadow game
since 2009.
Yeah, so for a long time. But I wonder how long this project has been in development, and I wonder if at the beginning they were like, Yasuke.
I bet they saw Ghost of Tsushima. They're like, fuck. They did it before us. We got to do something.
Yep. They like, we need Yasuke in a video game, and then spent the next however many years trying to build it. All of a sudden you get to 2024 and people are like, dude, we are so sick of this race swapping, history altering bullshit. Like, stop.
It's been going on for 10 years.
We don't want it anymore. But there's also this like, one of the biggest arguments to Assassin's Creed Shadows likely being successful was name recognition, brand recognition.
Well, AC Valhalla is, in my opinion, is the worst of the new Assassin's Creed games, and it's sold the most.
I thought you enjoyed it. Didn't you play like both versions, like both storylines?
No, I mean I played through and beat 1 or 2 storylines, but you had to get to like level 340 something.
Oh, so it's not the kind of thing you can do more times.
And so I'd have to grind for another 60 fucking hours.
No, thank you.
That game, yeah, it was not great. But Odyssey and Origins were good. And
Odyssey was the one I was thinking of that I think you liked. Yeah, was that the one you liked?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. But Star Wars, honestly, this might actually just be a bad argument. Star Wars should have been better. Like, if the game was mechanically better, you would have seen that game be profitable. Or I think you'd see that game be a lot bigger in scale of how much like it sold and how well it was doing. But especially because you had Star Wars, the Survivor one. What was the?
You got Fallen Order and Survivor.
Yeah. So Star Wars can make video games that are loved by fans. Then they made Star Wars Outlaws, and they just had this huge flop, and the game's just a buggy nightmare.
Yeah, everything about it just seems like a shit idea.
Yeah. Well,
they make so it's a female Han Solo, while Han Solo is hanging on Jabba's wall right now.
Yep.
That's when it takes place. And it's like more like stealth based.
Yeah, so you're just like crawling around trying to assassinate people. I mean,
And apparently, like, you can like choose kind of like, not really choose, I guess, but it's like which faction you support more. And so Mauler in his playthrough was like just Jabba's daddy and was just like doing everything for him. And at the end mission or whatever, Jabba comes in and saves the rebels.
What?
Yeah,
That sounds horrible.
because he did everything for him, and so Jabba comes in and saves the day.
That's fun. That's cool. I love it. I love a Jabba.
And then it's got to be like next day he's at the fucking his own palace and gets assassinated by the rebels.
Oh, Jabba, you silly! You'll never stop entertaining us. But yeah. So I think Assassin's Creed. There's an argument to be made that possibly the name recognition won't actually carry out. I think pre-orders pre-orders were
they were down.
They were like half of some other metric they were comparing it against.
They were half of what they were expecting, really.
Yeah. So I think that
just might be Assassin's Creed fatigue, or
it could be. But the pre-orders are the most avid customers. Those are the most like excited to play your game. They're getting pre-orders. They're getting the extra perks. Whatever the battle pass will fucking look like. Whatever, just extra cosmetics. Like those are the ones who are the most excited to play your game. And
I'm just picturing their fucking stores now in Assassin's Creed, where it's like you got like this long list of like earn gold faster, get more experience quicker. Here's 20 different cosmetics for your horse, your ship, or it's like Jesus, man.
So at the time of the article, they had compared the 5-year mark, and it had been down 80% since 2021, and that had brought it down to 13.67%. And this is as of September 9th. So at the time of this recording, 5 days later, I pulled up their price just to see where it was at today, and it's down to 1173. So, and I went, and that's
So 1173 per stock?
Or 1173 per stock. Yeah, you could buy.
Jesus.
You could put $1,000 in, get 100 shares, and you'd be probably a big deal over there.
The funny thing is, though, it's like there's no like, all right, so when Ubisoft drops their next game, it'll rise or whatever. It's like, no, you got Assassin's Creed next, probably another Far Cry, which no one cares about. Every game plays the exact same way when it comes to Ubisoft. It's the same game, just reskinned with a different thing. So
yeah. There's no inventiveness. Like, talk about Black Ops 6 real quick, and the fact that they introduced omnidirectional, or they introduced the advanced movement. They also introduced human shield mechanic. Like, have you seen any videos on the human shield mechanic?
I have not, no.
Okay, so this is in the testing. So Black Ops 6, you can run up, sneak up behind a character, double tap the button, and you hold them, and they're a human shield. And there's proximity and voice chat in the game, so the toxicity is going to be insane.
Like that, bitch?
I followed up on that story, and it turns out that might be removed from the game. Just that and omnidirectional movement might both be not in the base game. They're
really?
Yes.
Well, I don't think you can just get rid of
the movement mechanics.
No, yeah, you'd have to rebuild the entire game.
And so I don't know that for sure. That's the story I was kind of seeing, was that they were looking at doing some advanced stuff where they were doing some advanced stuff for OG Black Ops 3 zombies to offset the changes that they were making to get rid of those advanced mechanics in Black Ops 6.
Black Ops 3 is severely underrated.
Yeah. Well, also keep in mind, so when you were talking about the movement mechanics, I wonder if you could just clone the movement engine from one of your old games and just paste it into this new game, and the cosmetics, just line up the cosmetics proper. I don't know.
Probably a different engine. It's been years.
It has been a long time. All speculation, but the holding up. So first off, I am actually excited for Black Ops 6. I have become the guy I hate. Like, if you 1 year ago,
can't wait for Call of Duty, man.
1 year ago, I would have hated me right now for just being for just losing this war on Call of Duty.
Well, it's finally something fucking different.
Yeah, we got
Call of Duty.
No, so the
last good one, in my opinion, was Cold War, and that was another.
I think that the human shield thing is a very, very interesting mechanic. I think that the advanced movement, I think, is also a really good mechanic. There was a YouTuber, Tmall, who does like these hilarious, highly edited videos of him trying to use this new hilarious weapon that all these meta players just rage about in the chats. And He's hilarious. I recommend checking him out. He was doing there's a perk in Black Ops 6 that allowed you to cosmetically change your character's appearance and how he appears on your opponent's minimap so that he looks as much a part of your opponent's team as possible, and tricks your opponents into thinking that he's on their team by making a green marker on the minimap. And
I don't like that.
Oh, it's hilarious. You also switch proximity chats too, so you're actually now in their comms, so you can hear and trigger them too. Everything about Black Ops 6.
It's got to be like a cooldown thing.
It does. Yep, it does have a cooldown. I believe it's an activated perk, and this is all in early access stuff, so it's going to be probably altered and tweaked and rebalanced and stuff.
Comes out next month. So.
Black Ops 6 just gave us a smorgasbord. You heard me.
Smorgasbord.
A smorgasbord soundboard. That of all these new cool mechanics that I'm actually kind of impressed by. Now, Black, I don't have to say anything about the fact that I still hate Activision Blizzard as a company to respect that Treyarch made an amazing Call of Duty game.
Treyarch's been on it since fucking. Well, I mean, they did fuck up with Black Ops 4.
I don't think that was entire. Okay, just to clarify, I don't think that specifically was entirely their fault, because you had a games industry that was saying this is the only way to go.
Was that during COVID too?
No, it was pre-COVID, but Fortnite was huge, and then you had PUBG, Apex. You had so you had all the battle royale games, and you had.
I blame Fortnite for everything.
You can blame Fortnite for everything. That's totally reasonable.
Why don't we have a Fortnite movie yet?
Don't.
I bet Jack Black.
It's called Ready Player One.
Jack Black's gonna be in it.
It's called Ready Player One. You can already be any character you want in Fortnite. So anyway, the story with Ubisoft continues here. Obviously, the fact that their stock over 5 years has gone down.
It's gone up 0.04% though.
Today, Junior. But no,
because we're talking about
it. We are the winds of change that move in the stock market.
Everyone's like, fuck, it's only $11.
I didn't realize we were joining third party for stock advice.
Buy how you should spend your money.
Buy Bitcoin. Only buy Bitcoin. No, but yeah, 5 years, 83%. Now, I was looking for these are kind of highs from COVID was kind of what I was expecting, and so
everyone's inside.
Yeah, we were expecting the ride, but if you look at their all-time, you have 2018 was their peak, and it was already kind of going down.
It came out in 2018.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So they wrote. So I don't know if you guys can see this well. From this point right here to basically here is about what you can probably is like 1 year where you could probably attribute that to COVID if you were inclined to do so. But they were already at this peak in 2018.
There's Assassin's Creed Origins and Far Cry 5 were coming out around that time.
Right. So okay. So they had things that were riding them high. And there was this huge moment of growth.
Riding them high.
Well, there was this huge economic improvement zone starting around 2016 that I don't know what happened in 2016 that could have led to the economy getting better, but and everyone's stock prices going up. But I'll let you guys kind of infer
Division, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Division.
I'm sure it just sold super well.
It sold so fucking well. First off, did love the game, got bored of it quickly, but I thought it was on to something. I had a huge problem with what they were doing, the fact that they refused to open the Central Park map until the game was completely irrelevant. So anyway, there's more with the Ubisoft stuff.
I could just go through Ubisoft's history based on game releases.
Yeah.
It's all right, well, 2012 was Far Cry 3, and then after that.
Well, you got to make good products if you want to make money now. It's like the market's oversaturated. Now we're in the realm. We're in this area of time where you have to decide if you want to continue to just pump out sludge or if you want to make quality. And whichever game studio figures that out first will be the one that succeeds. Whichever studio says we want to make quality content, they're the ones who are going to get the fans to gravitate towards
Maybe it's BioWare with the Veilguard.
What is your boner about that game? I don't get it.
I love the Dragon Age series.
And
I miss old BioWare.
Before the podcast, I had never heard you talk about Dragon Age even once upon a time.
Because the last game came out a decade ago.
Yeah, but I don't remember. So the story continues with the financial analysts are downgrading Ubisoft stock after all of this. So they're blaming the Star Wars Outlaws, everything underperforming. Like, big fucking surprise that you're underperforming right now. Like, everyone who wanted to play Assassin's Creed like hates you, and they're maybe going to force themselves to play because it's an Assassin's Creed game. But you're absolutely not winning anyone over with that arc.
I mean, I've been a long time fan of Assassin's Creed. Played through all of them. Stopped after Valhalla. Didn't play Mirage. I'm not gonna play this new one. Or I did play Mirage, but I played 2 hours of it.
Right.
And I was like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck that shit, I'm out.
Hey.
So yeah.
So they've lost me, and I've been playing Assassin's Creed since 2007.
So the stock price is down 80 and change over 5 years. 7% from the earnings call. Then you have the stock being downgraded, calls for it to go private. So is this like so where are the modern audiences they were begging for to save them from this disaster? I mean, even if they were...
Oh, they showed up.
That's right. They all showed up.
They all showed up. That was all of them.
Last story on Ubisoft before we jump into another topic is going to be that they broke the law. They had this mentorship program that was exclusive for women and non-binary.
So once you say mentorship program, I don't know why, but my mind went to Harvey Weinstein.
That's... I mean, it's my opinion and not a verifiable fact that they are probably
doing the dirty.
They're probably not great. They're probably not great in that regard. They had a mentorship program at Ubisoft where they were trying to pull in women and non-binary, LGBTQ, A, B, C, B, D, F, G. Alphabet people. All of them into the gaming industry. And they overtly say that they are not going to be accepting men into this program. So if you are a man and you want to get in, all you have to do is pretend to be a woman, or just say you're a woman.
Just say you're a woman.
But
that's an easy bypass right there.
Right. So the only people they don't allow to be themselves are people who really dominate the industry. But
it's like Woody Harrelson in Anger Management.
Yeah.
Remember that? He's like a hooker. Because I'm a lady. Oops, no, I'm not.
Well, the company is basically in hot water now because the program itself is discriminatory, and you can't just be doing that.
But you can't take that to court because a lot of judges are even biased now.
Yeah, no such thing as an unbiased judge, just which side they're biased for.
There was this one comedian, he was trying to get acting work in Hollywood, and they're like, agents were just straight up telling him, it's like, we're not looking for white men, bro. So like, fuck off.
Yeah. I think Hollywood has some carved out exemptions for it. Like some legally carved out exemptions for like discrimination because of the artistic requirements that they are putting into their project.
Yeah, you can like squeeze your way around.
I'm pretty sure that's like an old story. Like the reason they didn't hire a black guy to play Julius Caesar was because they needed a white guy to play Julius Caesar. And
Mark Wahlberg is Muhammad Ali. That's
right.
What I'm looking for.
What was it? Jake Gyllenhaal as Barack Obama in the Obama movie. I would love that.
Jamie Lee Curtis is Rosa Parks.
That'd be hilarious. I would go to see that movie. But the program itself, I believe they were talking about it being shut down. So they had the programs. So eligibility criteria. Let's just read through that real quick. So to be eligible, you must
identify as a woman.
You go ahead and read these.
You must identify as a woman or non-binary individual. So right away you're just like, I'm a lady. And you're in.
Just lie.
18 years or older, currently attend or have graduated in or after spring of 2023, have less than 2 years of professional experience in game design, programming, and video games. All right. Be legally entitled to work in the country where you are applying. Apply to only one location. Submit an individual entry. Team entries will not be considered.
So the one line is the one we have a problem with. The rest of that's pretty standard, like pretty standard
Except
stuff.
for like you have to have 2 years of professional experience in game design.
Yeah, then why would you need mentorship? Like you're supposed to be getting like an understanding of how to build. Like,
hey, you should just be taking this kid right out of college and just be like, all right,
I need you to level with me here. See?
Oh, okay.
Do we live in a meritocracy or not? No. Okay, so we don't. There'd be a new in the meritocracy. So
new. It doesn't matter how good you are at something.
You're like,
if you ain't a woman.
What matters is what's between your legs and what color your skin is. These are the only objective metrics we can quantify.
Why is it so hard to agree upon?
You want me to guess based on what you earned? That's so subjective.
Wait, you created a game at 8 years old that was fully playable and functional? Fuck you!
Get out of our industry, you son of a bitch.
And you're white?
Absolutely unfucking acceptable.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
In any context, we just can't forgive them.
But I'm not in any of these industries, so it doesn't really affect me that much. So
you play every product they put out.
I don't play every product, but I mean like work. I'm so out of like that work field, like desk jobs.
It
doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have fucking like dealerships or like car manufacturers. Oh, maybe you do have car manufacturers, but like
I wanted
people like we're only hiring black female people right now.
Right.
So
well, there's so obviously Ubisoft has a lot in the realm of growing up to do, especially when it comes to their broken ass, poor ass stock price. They got to get some stuff moving.
Broken ass games.
Well, there's nothing on the horizon that's going to save them either. There's not a single product that's going to move the needle vertical.
No, the only thing that's been announced have been Assassin's Creed projects.
Yeah, and no one you are going to get the minimum of what you're expecting for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that is not going to do anything for you.
What if the gameplay is baller as fuck?
Okay. We don't have to pretend anymore. Cody.
Devil's advocate.
All right. We're going to move on to our next story. We are going to be talking about the Harry Potter casting call. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Let's move into that story. All right. So casting call for Harry Potter's upcoming series. They basically call for inclusivity and diversity in their casting call. They put it in the footer of the announcement that went out. I love how they did the announcement too. The Hogwarts is reaching out to you about like being a cast member. Max's project, I think, is DOA.
No.
Yeah, you don't
know why? Okay, this casting call, they have to do it. They have to say that. They can't just be like, "Hey, we're looking for white kids between the ages of 9 and 11." You can't do that in this day and age. So they can put out a casting call for whoever, and then just I'll take that white kid.
What if they just left that off? Because there are. Okay, so first off, I have not read the books. I have enjoyed the movies. I have played some of the games. I have watched some of the smaller content creators talking about Harry Potter a bit. I have people who are close to me who are diehard fans of the franchise. We have friends who literally have wands that Bluetooth to their television as their TV remote. Jake.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, you forgot. It's literally so obtuse. But so there are people. Obviously, it's impossible to not know something about the Harry Potter franchise in this day and age. But you didn't have to add that. You could have just. The casting call doesn't say anything about white people. It just says what it says, and we'll read it. We'll go to the casting call in a second. I just want to get initial thoughts on the story.
Yeah. No, they have to call for anyone can come. But Hermione's been black in the stage play for years now.
Right, the Cursed Child stage.
Yeah, I think that's whatever else plays that they're putting on.
Well, and Rowling actually, J.K. Rowling gives a comment on that too. She actually is very, very fond of the Cursed Child stage play and thinks that actress does a great job. Like,
cool. Who's watched it?
I mean, my understanding is that the Cursed Child is actually a shit story.
That's my understanding too.
But it's also a play.
So it's inherently shit.
It's inherently disadvantaged, It's inherently disadvantaged.
It's crippled from the start.
Oh man, the casting. So it's gonna be difficult.
But okay, so Hermione's been black. So are you gonna go 7 years with Hermione Black being called a mudblood all the time, trying to set up? I know you haven't read the books, but
well, I know she's not black.
She said,
I know that.
She's also trying to have a slave revolution with the house elves.
I do remember. Yeah, I did hear that.
And they don't even want to be free.
Okay, so I think Hermione is a safe bet Because I mean, so she was race swapped.
Or do it with Ron. You know, have the poorest magical family, just turn them black.
This is the joke. This is the joke. The
who's Harry? You know, just throw him under the stairs.
Who is okay? Do you remember? I pulled up a video of it's Mickey Mouse, and they're talking about doing a Harry Potter project, and they're talking about how many race swaps they can get away with doing. And do you remember this video at all?
No.
Okay, so basically every time you successfully race swap a character, you get 10 points, and you get 20 points if they were originally ginger. And so Mickey Mouse is doing this, and he's like in a board meeting. He's like, "All right, gang, who are we gonna race swap next?" Oh, that's actually that wasn't bad.
I mean, it's based off of South Park's interpretation of Mickey Mouse.
But theirs is based off of the OG Mickey Mouse, who is based off Steamboat Willie. So who is really the copycat here?
Swiss cheese maker. See, if you've seen that meme, you know what I'm talking about.
I have not seen that meme.
Mickey Mouse making Swiss cheese.
I believe in you. You don't have to keep going. Like, I forgive you.
Puts dick in it.
But
that's what the holes are.
So the joke of it is that they have Mickey Mouse is talking about how they're gonna race swap the Weasleys for like an instant 100 points or something like that, because they're an entire family of white gingers. Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be fun.
There was that picture floating around of all the Disney characters that were originally ginger.
Mm-hmm.
Just yeah.
I think that what would be very funny is if they said George was black and Fred was white, and they're like, which one's which?
You get them mixed up, okay? I can never remember.
What do you mean you can't play a black twin?
He's a very dark white guy, and he's a very pale black guy.
You always get us mixed up, Mom. How does that fucking happen?
My name is Jorge.
Oh,
it's Jorge and Freddy.
Who? Jorge?
Jorge. It's George.
George? Oh. My name is George. All right, so we're going to read the casting call here real quick. So it's the casting call is actually pretty typical. Open casting call for children to play the roles of Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Ron Weasley in the upcoming original series adaptation of Harry Potter. So this is pretty specific. This is very much like 1, 2, or 3. They didn't.
Why is Harry Potter in like half quotes? It's like adaptation of quote unquote Harry Potter.
I don't know. Maybe the whole thing's in quotes.
Switch it up a lot.
I have no idea. If your child would like to be considered, please head to this place. We are currently only able to consider children who are aged 9, 11, April 25s, a resident of UK or Ireland. Wow. Nationalist much? Wow. You know how many British actors we have come over here to America taking good American acting jobs?
Fucking Brits.
God damn it. Let's
close the eastern border.
Build a wall. Build a seawall.
Seawall.
City wall. But the UK is going to be...
Yeah, no, that's always been Rowling's stipulation is you got to be from the UK. That's
fine. I mean, was the original cast from the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know. You don't have to rub it in my face about it. Please note that the cast it website is only... What?
Is the only way to apply.
Okay, I'm retarded.
Yep.
Okay. Applications must be submitted by parent or legal guardian. And here's the stipulation. This is what we're talking about. Oh, I can't.
We are committed to inclusive, diverse casting. For every role, please submit your qualified performers without regard to ethnicity, disability, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, or other bases protected by law unless otherwise specifically.
Now
that reminds me of every game that you pop up these days. It's like this game was developed by a diverse team that has cultural differences and believes in different things. Blah 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 blah. It's like
then they just became a monolith of a specific ideology, not by accident. Okay, so let's.
Can we get Harry in a wheelchair then?
Harry. I'm Harry.
I'm Harry. Get under the
stairs. Okay, so. Ethnicity, disability, race, sexual orientation.
We get all of them in one character.
Gender identity. Well, that would be the easiest way to go. Just have Hagrid mark all the boxes. Because then the kids go to see him. It's like, how's it going, Hagrid?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a giant with dwarfism.
what was like his brother? Like his brother who's tied to by a rope in the woods.
Oh yeah, I forgot about.
What was his name?
I don't know, fucking Dur.
No, it was something. It's not real.
Gorm? No.
Oh my god, this is gonna bug me like the rest of this minute.
No, we have to stop this entire podcast.
All right, halt the podcast. Hold.
I think it starts with a G.
It's
dude.
not Dubby. It's not Dobby because that's
No,
the L.
Dobby's L.
Grubby.
That sounds right.
I think it's Grubby. Grubby?
Grubby?
Down.
No.
Bad Grubby.
You put me down.
That was a terrible scene. That was a terrible scene, completely irrelevant. Like, you didn't need Grubby at all in that movie, in my opinion. But
doesn't he kill that chick in pink?
No, he let the centaurs take her, and then she's still alive at the she's still alive in the next movie. Or actually, I think it skips a movie. I think she comes back for an appearance. But the UK casting call. Okay, so obviously growing up,
well,
you
the
have
thing is, all right. So J.K. Rowling has almost like all control over this and how this is going to go down. She's got ultimate power. Problem is, she's very, very, very on the social
left.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they also hate her because she's against trannies.
Right. So
she's just tweeted something.
Well, she didn't stop. Like she's pretty engaged. Not just one thing. She's pretty engaged with her tweeting. Or had been in the once upon a time. I don't know if she still is.
Slam dunk in history. Follow the books. Done deal. Make billions of dollars on it.
I think Rowling should have complete creative control over what she decides she wants to have swapped out and changed in in the project.
It is her story.
So if she wants to race swap, gender swap, disability swap all of these characters, I'm plenty fine with it. It's fair game though. Like we still get to call it out. We still get to say that's a good bad change and be the audience. We still get to be the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all up in the air right now. I mean, it's the easiest. Like, Warner Brothers has been making like financially really good decisions lately. It's like scrapping a bunch of projects or licensing out a bunch of other shit, or like not even having Batman the Cape Crusader on their platform. They're like, fuck off.
You're going over there. You're far away. Well,
so it's like, and they're in an astronomical amount of debt. So it's like this series could pull you out and put you on top.
It could. It doesn't. It's not. Let's be realistic.
Harry Potter is like Star Wars for millennials.
Right, but how
everyone's fucking into it.
Right, but how dead is Star Wars?
That's dead is dead.
Star Wars is like we had a funeral and everything. We buried it. It's over. But I mean, there's no reason that Harry Potter would be exempt from the exact same thing that happened to Star Wars, where you have all of these creative decisions, and creative decisions they are, where you go around checking boxes and making this copy paste material, and we've had the story before. You're going to have everyone who's watched Daniel Radcliffe play Harry Potter for 10 years. You're going to have all of them watching this show, and they're going to be comparing it. It has to not just be good individually. It also has to live up to the legacy that was placed in front of it.
True.
And I think that if people are like, well, I'll just like Slim says this all the time with like certain projects. I'm just gonna go watch the OG. Like Avatar was a great example of this. The Avatar live action.
The live action sucks dick.
Right, and if this sucks dick, people will just abandon it and go back to the.
You said it was adequate, basically.
I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Avatar. I thought I didn't think it was a 4 or a 3. I think there was a lot about it that I did
give it a 1.
I think there was a lot about it to be criticized. I think if you gave this a 1, you'd have to say it was at the same as the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, I think I said it was like on par with it.
But it was bad. Like you
can go back and listen to it because I said it was unwatchable.
All right, fine. We had an Avatar review of the live action. We can go back and watch that. We don't have to rehash that here. But the point is that if you have a remake of a project that already had fans like the fandom falling in love with it, you're going to have a lot of comparison to that OG stuff, and every mistake you make or every decision you make is going to be compared against the original, and every mistake is going to have to be justified individually, especially with a fandom this diehard about it.
You're fighting against nostalgia too.
You're fighting against nostalgia.
Because, like, all right, when did the first movie come out? 2001 or something like that?
Yep.
2001 or 2?
Well, yeah, I actually don't know the year.
Okay, I would have been a couple of years younger than Harry, but
Harry.
You grew up.
It's Harry.
Harry.
Sorry.
you grew up. Like, a lot of us grew up with these kids.
Yeah, and so the younger generation is going to be the ones to watch it, but I mean, Max is not really the platform you put kids in front of to like have them watch stuff. I think Max has.
What's wrong with Skinamax? It's family friendly.
Oh, yeah, for 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 10-year-olds, all of them. But I think Max does have like a kids friendly like specific
well, they
one.
have Cartoon Network too now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
they shut down
and
Cartoon
Discovery Channel.
Yep.
So they got all of it. But I mean, yeah, it's
comparing it to
it's a wait and see kind of game right now.
I think this can tell people a little bit of the trajectory that we're going in, though.
It doesn't matter who they cast for the kids. It's gonna get flack one way or the other.
Sure. Well, and so I don't have any high expectations of child actors. Like my expectations on child actors are
they all
insanely low. But I will say that Sound of Freedom and Creator, I thought both the kid actors in those movies did really good.
True.
Sound of Freedom, like the child actress in Sound of Freedom, holy shit, she was amazing. She did so well in that movie. And then the kid in the Creator, he was so quiet. It was really nice. So you didn't see.
She?
Was it?
Bald children, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, bald children robot. It's a they them. Who gives a shit? It's a they them.
I don't know. Did you ask them?
I don't have to. Yeah, I know things.
Yeah, I just know.
Just know things. Don't ask how I know. All right. We have one more topic to get into. Let's jump into it right away. It is all of the debacle surrounding the PlayStation 5 Pro. So, Cody, please, as a PlayStation fan, someone who has owned every PlayStation device since the PS2.
Wrong.
You own the 2, the 3?
No, 3.
You didn't own the what?
I didn't own the 3.
You owned the 3?
I was an Xbox guy that time.
Fine.
360.
You get one.
Yeah.
You get one.
No.
You get play the PS2, the 4 and 5.
The PS2, the 4 and 5. Yeah. One, 2, 4, 5.
You own the 1?
Fuck yeah! That was my first like console that like I kind of personally.
You think you're showing off now? You think you're a big boy, big britches?
Yeah, I know. I said I was poor all this time, but I was actually a rich kid at heart.
I had a Game Boy. It was like a portable PlayStation.
I couldn't afford it in advance though.
Tell me about the PS5. Tell me about the PS5 and your experience with that system, and tell me who was wanting something stronger and better than that. It was like this was you know what this was missing? Enhanced graphics cards, higher RAM, better storage, no disk drive. Go ahead.
For $300 more.
Yeah. $700 fucking price tag.
The PS5 is great. It's leaps and bounds better than PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I got an Xbox Series S, which sucks dick. It's got it's got no storage. One, I bought it because it was digital. I did fuck it. I don't need a disc drive. I'll spend $200 less.
Haha. Get what you deserve.
But it's supposed to be an online only console, and I've complained about this.
You betrayed the hard copy. You get what you deserve.
I've complained about this console time and time again on it. The Series S is supposed to be digital online only, and runs at 1440 is the highest. Won't go past that. And it disconnects from the internet every goddamn game you're in. Just be like, nope, dropped. It's like, what the fuck, man? This is your one job. You had one job.
It's the same problem that the Google Stadia had.
And it's like everyone's talking about how it's like it's held back this current gen's like performance and whatnot because everyone's trying to make shit work for the Series S. And it's like, I mean, some companies with their games like managed to do it. Like, I think I played Cyberpunk on it when it first came out, and I didn't actually have that many problems like people did.
Really?
Yeah.
Like I thought you had a bunch of graphical issues.
Dude.
Okay.
I actually I've been lucky when it comes to like like buggy messes that come out, and people are like, it's unplayable, I can't do it, and I'm just sitting there like, wee, I have no issues, no crashes at all or anything. But yeah, no, the PS5 is great. Love it. It's probably my favorite console I've ever owned. It's right below the PS2 because of nostalgia.
Was it a $500 price tag?
I paid $600.
You paid $600.
I paid $600 for it right after the big like scalping.
Okay,
debacle.
Right. That's, you have to remember that happens every freaking new console, that the scalpers come out and take every Best Buy's inventory.
When did I get it? I got it when God of War Ragnarok came out, whenever that was.
God, the scalpers hit hard on that last gen.
Yeah, that was fucking insane. Because, you know, you got Amazon people that are just like, hey, we got a PS5 going to this place.
Yeah.
Want to just grab it from the doorstep?
We'll just take it.
Porch pirates.
Oh, that's right. Them too.
But, yeah, no, it's
and I pull out my gun.
It runs great. UI is way better than the PS4. No problems with it whatsoever. Now, is there a need to spend another $700 to get more storage space, basically? Because it's not even like that big of like a performance bump.
Oh, we got a photo.
Yeah.
We got a photo. You guys are going to love
like
this.
If you want that much graphical fidelity, play PC.
So this is from TheVerge.com. They pulled this up. So we got the PS5 performance on RT for the Ratchet and Clank game, and then we have the PS5 Pro. Find the difference. I can't. I don't see it. I've looked. I thought the PS5 looked better.
Why is Ratchet in the Third Reich?
We're gonna get canceled again. No, just kidding. We haven't been canceled yet. Step up your game.
Oddly, the PS5 like basic one almost like little. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but like that billboard up in the background almost looks clear.
Yeah, the PS5 as I'm looking, the PS5 looks clearer. Maybe it's brighter, so I think it looks better because that's a pretty common issue. People correlate the brightness of an image with the quality of an image when really it should come down to contrast and details. Right. But that's like when you walk into like a superstore and they have TVs on the wall, they're all set to their brightest setting because people are dumb and they think if it looks good in its brightest setting, it's going to be great. But that's not quality image. That's not the best image you can get from it.
It's like Miguel Sapochnik that told everyone to brighten up their TVs on season 8 of Game of Thrones during that Battle of Winterfell.
Well, that actually was
everyone's TV is just not bright enough.
Well, that's actually also wrong. So you should be you should be watching that season in a dark room, but you should also have it on the maximum contrast, which was like the movie mode, the detailed cinematic mode.
What I'm saying is he told everyone that
I'm saying he's retarded.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and we got a lot of evidence to ascribe to that. So, yay. Yeah. So the PS5 doesn't have an audience. Anyone who wants a highly
Pro.
PS5 Pro. Thank you.
The PS5 is on par with one of the best. PS4 is the best-selling console of all time. It's on par of sales with that right now. Okay. It sold about 60 million, I want to say. Okay. PS5 did. And I think the total is like 100 and some million.
Well, the PS5 Pro doesn't have an audience because the physical storage. My understanding of first off, I haven't been a console player in like 5 years. I hate consoles, generally speaking.
Yeah. They say a terabyte. It's not. It's 800 and some gigs.
Yep. And then I believe that you could still add a external hard drive to it to expand that. And
there's some like 1 terabyte external hard drives going for like $500 fucking dollars.
That's like a server hard drive. Like that's like a server quality hard drive.
I don't know. I just Amazon it, so I was like, I'll just delete games.
You can get it's cheap. It actually is cheap to get expandable hard drives. But the graphics card is probably one of the big aspects to it. Why they have the price increase, because the graphics card is going to be fucking expensive.
That is, yeah.
Then you have the storage, the graphics card. It's not enough to get anybody who's serious about the quality of their game off of one of the base generation consoles into like an elite generation consoles. You're that much closer to a PC, which in my mind Like,
okay, yeah, you can either spend the $700 on a PS5 Pro or $1,000 on a really good fucking PC.
yeah, exactly. Here's my.
I spent $1,000 on my laptop, and that thing runs everything that's coming out these days.
Here's an open. I want you to have an open mind when I run this idea past you.
I don't have an open mind.
Fair enough.
Very closed.
It never opens.
It's very closet.
Never opened. Not one time. Okay. PlayStation should create a desktop that's basically like an Alienware concept.
So Sony should develop their own
desktop. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have they should build their own operating system for a desktop experience. They should become a competitor with Microsoft and Apple on that front. Sony should create a desktop experience. And then when the console war inevitably fizzles out because everyone's like, the price of a console is so fucking stupid. Now we're just going to go to PC. Sony just loses because they have nowhere to grab it. They have nowhere to bring an audience to. But if they did build a console or a desktop experience, they could also take advantage of their VR setups that they have.
Oh.
They could take better advantage of their VR setups, and they wouldn't be conditioned on like making it compatible with Xbox and Microsoft desktop.
What was the Oculus? Was that Microsoft?
The Oculus, I thought Oculus was Google. But there's the Google glasses. No, the Apple glasses? I don't actually know. The VR thing, I also don't.
I know PlayStation's between PlayStation and Xbox, PlayStation's got like a fuckload of VR stuff on it.
PlayStation has one of the best VR experiences, but they're not compatible with the desktop until recently they released an adapter to make it compatible with the desktop. So now it is. But realistically, rather than investing any time into building an adapter, they should double down on my idea, which is build a desktop experience. And again, there's precedent for it. It's like Alienware, like MSI. Like like all you need is the hardware, and the hard part would be to build a from the ground up operating system to compete with.
PS6 is a desktop.
That's an idea. The hard part would be building an operating system. You have, if Sony was working through Linux, they could be the company that brings Linux to like a higher level of consumer viability, because you have Windows, you have Apple, you have Linux, but Linux doesn't really exist on the consumer market. It does, but most people don't interact with Linux. Most people interact with Windows.
Right.
And then Apple has just kind of got a bunch of weird computers that are stupid looking. But I think if Sony spent their time and resources on getting into that market. No, I don't like the stupid Mac. I think people who use that are actually unintelligent.
I don't even. When's the last time I even saw it, man?
It doesn't matter. It's just like anything you want to do on a Mac will perform better on a PC. I can't think of a single example of anything that isn't like an Apple specific software.
Is that a problem in high school? Where it's like all Mac computers in high school, and then like people would do like their like PowerPoints and whatnot.
Yeah, it wasn't compatible.
Yeah, it's not compatible.
Apple's just so stupid. They try to force the market to adhere to them when they are like the minority product. Like they're the worst of the products.
They still make bank though.
Well, that's because they cater to the stupid. And this
iPhone. If you don't have the iPhone 23 right now, you're poor.
You are poor. Well, even the people with the iPhone 23 are poor because they just keep spending stupid amounts of money. Like my phone is actually as good as any of those other phones. I spent $400 on it just out of pocket. The new iPhone, the new Samsung are going to be like $1,200 out of pocket. How the fuck did we start talking about this?
That's hardware.
My
Sony.
fault. My fault. Obviously. All right. We're gonna
like.
Go
like
ahead.
this, like they're almost like selling this like this is almost like next gen.
This is elite.
It's elite. It's so much better.
It's a higher caliber of human who buys this.
And it's just and they had to write on they had to write in. It's like the stand is sold separately because they're advertising it standing up.
Right.
So the stand's gonna be like another $50.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean
controllers sold separately.
Right.
It's just it's a bad look.
It really is. The Sony. So
if I was Nintendo right now, I would like here's Switch 2. Boom. They're coming out with it here soon.
Yeah, I mean, Xbox is gonna come up with something in the future. I think it'll be a little longer for Xbox.
If I was Nintendo, I'd slap my dick on the table and just be like, "Yo,
we made a desktop."
I got
Nintendo made a desktop.
It's like what HBO does with House of the Dragon. It's like Rings of Power drops a trailer. And it's like, "Yo, look at our trailer."
You're right at the same time as Rings of Power. That was beautiful. That was our. If only it wasn't as bad as it was.
I want more trash talking and stuff between big companies.
I love that. You remember when Wendy's was on Twitter?
Oh yeah.
Wendy's was bad. That was hilarious. That wasn't the reason I bought Wendy's ever, because I wasn't on Twitter back then. But
I like Nintendo is like, because it's such like a kid friendly kind of like company and whatnot, and all their games are, and just be like, just start talking mad shit.
You need so the way you go about doing this is
Sony South Korean or Japanese?
Sony is Japanese.
Nintendo's Japanese.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone
Battle of the Japs.
LG and Samsung are both South Korean. Someone's Taiwanese too, probably. All right, guys, we are going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, again, consider subscribing, smash the like button, share the video out there, comment your thoughts below, and we will see you guys on the next one. Go tell your stories. Peace.
Bye.